Now recognizes the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Posey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Stumpf, members of this committee have already expressed outrage that we all feel that this atrocity was able to happen. It's absolutely deplorable that your customers were subject to this practice, and I'm sure the fine that Wells Fargo will pay will be insufficient to comfort the customers or adequately compensate them. At best, at the very best, you and our federal regulators were asleep at the switch. You know, at worst, it's almost, if not, a criminal enterprise. My biggest concern, and I think it's the biggest concern of every member on both sides of the aisle here, is that we need to ensure that it doesn't ever happen again. That means we have a shared interest in understanding what caused and what perpetrated the unprecedented level of fraud, and I have just a couple of questions that I think will help drive us in that direction to understand it. First, Mr. Stumpf, I understand that Wells Fargo sets goals for new banking products each employee was expected to sell daily. Is that correct?
I don't believe that's the case. I know as part of our reward system and our performance management that products was part of their performance management along with customer service, customer loyalty, doing things right. But again, as of this Friday, we're getting rid of those goals.
Okay. I've read a range of reports that puts these sales goals somewhere between 8 to 5 new sales each day compared to the reported industry standard of 3 to 5 per day. Briefly, I was going to ask you if you could give us an idea of how the goals were determined.
It determined within our business. I wasn't part of that process, and I don't know if that's an you made reference to an industry standard and what ours is. I wouldn't have specific. Okay. I can try to get back to you.
Are you aware if the expected targets vary between bank branches of different size, location, or constituencies?
I believe that is the case, yes.
You think they did?
I believe that was, I don't know when that was introduced, but I believe in the past, locations that would have more activity, we'd either have more bankers or more goals, and for those.
Thank you for the straight answer.
Okay.
As a follow-up, did the bonuses associated with those goals vary between those branches, or did Wells Fargo use a single uniform system?
Again, that's a level of detail I don't know. I can try to get back to you on that.
Now, so far in the investigation of bad actors, have you found any correlation between the likelihood of employees committing fraud and the demographic or socioeconomic characteristics of the people being served?
Yeah. First of all, I don't know. I'm not trying to be careful on words here. I don't know what fraud exactly. I mean, I know what's right and I know what's wrong, and I don't know what the intent of all these people were. But to answer your question specifically, there was no, that I understand, racial or ethnicity difference other than what the communities are, because we try to have people in our banks that represent the communities.
All right, so we'll take racial and ethnicity off the table here. As someone who also represents a district heavily populated by seniors, I'm worried that Wells Fargo may have intentionally preyed upon those they saw as vulnerable. Do you believe seniors were purposely targeted as a result of employees stretching to meet their sales goals?
Yeah, in fact, we've looked at, because we actually capture date of birth, so we could tell that, and no, there was no disproportionate, it did not, in fact, it was younger people, not seniors. Okay. If there was any emphasis at all or any.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be clear, I don't think sales goals are inherently evil. Anyone who's owned a business understands the need to incentivize employees to succeed and reward their successes. Unfortunately, your company forgot the most important part of any business, more important than sky-high stock prices, year-end bonuses, or fat retirements. It's the people that you serve. I'm increasingly concerned that this misguided idea of success that puts actual customers in a category of least concern is perpetrated more than just Wells Fargo, by the way. To the best of your knowledge, was this practice of creating fake accounts exclusive to Wells Fargo?
You know, again, I don't know, and I only know that what I know about our company. But I'd also like to make, if I could just, in your few seconds left, the investment reason people buy Wells Fargo invest in us is a whole lot more. It's about our broad product model. It's about our distribution in the United States. It's about our loans and deposit growth.
Can you tell me any action the CFPB has taken that would stop something like this from happening again?
Brief answer from the witness.
We've worked with the CFPB. We made an agreement with them, and we're going to continue to work with them on this issue.
But any action that they've taken that would stop it from happening again?
Time of the gentleman has expired.